space was supposed to be silent. Instead, it was filled with whispers. Not the whispers of sound, but of civilizations that had ruled the stars for millions of years. Countless empires stretched across spiral arms of the Milky Way. Some were ancient enough to remember when stars were still being born. Others had risen from extinction to become legends feared by entire galaxies. Among them, one name inspired more terror than any other: the Dominion of Khar. The Khar were conquerors. They did not negotiate. They did not trade. They did not forgive. Every civilization that crossed their borders faced only two choices: serve or disappear forever. For over 70,000 years, no species had successfully resisted them. Entire planets became ash. Stars were turned into weapons. Galactic history itself had been rewritten to erase civilizations that dared to fight. To the rest of the galaxy, the Khar were not simply an empire. They were destiny. Then humanity arrived. Earth had only discovered faster-than-light travel 43 years earlier. Compared to the civilizations around them, humans were children. Their oldest space station was younger than many alien museums. Their navy consisted of only a few hundred warships. Their colonies occupied a handful of nearby systems. Most galactic governments barely noticed them. The Galactic Council certainly didn't. When Earth's ambassadors entered the Hall of Nations for the first time, representatives from hundreds of species watched with quiet amusement. The humans walked upright. No claws. No natural armor. No psychic abilities. No biological weapons. Just fragile skin covered by fabric. One ambassador from the insectoid Terex collective leaned toward another delegate. That species evolved without an exoskeleton? Another answered. They won't survive a century. The room chuckled. Humans noticed. They smiled anyway. Captain Marcus Hale had heard those stories before. Every week brought another report describing humanity as weak, primitive, naive, unimportant. Marcus didn't care. He commanded the exploration cruiser Resolute, and his mission wasn't to prove humanity's strength. It was to discover what lay beyond known space. The crew numbered just under 400. Scientists, engineers, Marines, families. The Resolute wasn't simply a warship. It was a symbol that humanity believed exploration mattered more than conquest. For 3 years, the mission had been peaceful. Until the distress signal arrived. It came from the mining colony on New Horizon. At first, operators assumed it was equipment failure. Then the transmission repeated. Over and over. The same terrified voice. They're here. Static. We can't stop them. More static. Please. The transmission ended with screaming. Then silence. Marcus stared at the display. No further messages? The communications officer slowly shook her head. Nothing, Captain. Navigation projected the colony's location. Only 12 light hours away. Marcus made his decision immediately. Set course. One officer hesitated. Captain, regulations require military authorization. Marcus looked toward the stars. If there are survivors, they don't have time for paperwork. The engines ignited. The Resolute accelerated into faster-than-light travel. No one aboard realized they were flying directly toward humanity's first war. The colony should have been visible long before arrival. Instead, darkness. Where New Horizon had once orbited its sun, only debris remained. Broken stations drifted through space. Cargo ships floated lifelessly. Pieces of habitats rotated slowly among clouds of frozen atmosphere. There were no rescue beacons. No escape pods. Only destruction. Bridge officers fell silent. Even experienced Marines stared in disbelief. Nearly 80,000 civilians had lived there. Gone. Marcus whispered one word. Scan. The answer arrived seconds later. Captain. The science officer's voice trembled. Thousands of bodies. No one spoke. Humanity had never witnessed destruction on that scale. Then sensors detected movement. 23 unidentified vessels emerged from behind the planet's moon. They were enormous. Black armor covered every surface. Red energy pulsed beneath their hulls like blood flowing beneath skin. Each ship dwarfed the Resolute. The alien fleet transmitted a single message. It wasn't translated. It didn't need to be. Every language database reached the same conclusion. Surrender. Marcus stood. Raise shields. The first enemy shot sliced through space. A beam of crimson energy crossed thousands of kilometers in less than a second. The Resolute rolled sharply. The beam missed by meters. Warning alarms exploded across the bridge. They're firing again. The second blast struck. The ship shook violently. Lights flickered. Hull sections vented atmosphere. Damage reports flooded every screen. Engineering called immediately. We've lost 30% of shield capacity. Marcus remained calm. Return fire. The cruiser unleashed everything it possessed. Railguns. Missiles. Laser batteries. The weapons struck the nearest alien ship. Explosions covered its shields. When the smoke cleared, nothing. The alien vessel hadn't even slowed down. One bridge officer whispered the thought everyone shared. We can't hurt them. The battle lasted only 6 minutes. 6 terrible minutes. The Resolute fought with everything humanity had ever built. It wasn't enough. Half the engines were destroyed. Weapons failed one by one. Hull breaches spread across multiple decks. Casualty reports continued climbing. 30 dead. 50. 90. Marcus watched another missile volley disappear harmlessly against alien shields. This wasn't a battle. It was an execution. Then something unexpected happened. The aliens stopped firing. Instead, one massive flagship moved closer. A transmission appeared. This time, in perfect English. We are the Dominion of Khar. You occupy territory claimed by the Eternal Dominion. You will surrender your worlds. Resistance is statistically meaningless. Marcus looked around his damaged bridge. Smoke drifted through shattered consoles. Crew members worked despite injuries. Some were covered in blood. No one suggested surrender. Marcus activated the transmitter. This is Captain Marcus Hale of the United Earth exploration vessel Resolute. This colony was peaceful. You murdered civilians. The alien voice answered without emotion. They were resources. Marcus clenched his fists. They were people. Silence followed. Then the alien commander spoke again. Insignificant distinction. Marcus disconnected the transmission. He had heard enough. For 3 days, the UEV Resolute drifted through space. The once proud exploration cruiser was little more than a scarred shell. Entire decks had been exposed to vacuum. Emergency bulkheads sealed off ruined compartments where dozens of crew members had made their final stand. Every light that remained flickered as if the ship itself struggled to stay alive. Captain Marcus Hale stood alone on the observation deck. Beyond the cracked viewport floated the stars, cold and indifferent. Behind him, 97 empty seats had been placed in perfect rows. One for every crew member who had not survived the battle over New Horizon. No speeches were given. No music played. Each surviving sailor simply saluted. The silence carried more weight than words ever could. When the ceremony ended, Marcus spoke only one sentence. They died protecting humanity before humanity even knew it was at war. The jump back to Earth took another 2 days. As the damaged cruiser emerged from faster-than-light travel above Luna, every orbital station fell silent. Traffic control expected a routine scientific vessel. Instead, they saw a ship burned black by plasma fire. Its port side had been torn open. Its engines leaked radiation. Its hull bore deep scars from weapons no human database could identify. Within minutes, emergency craft surrounded the Resolute. News networks interrupted every broadcast. The images spread across Earth in seconds. For the first time in human history, every nation looked at the same screen with the same expression: fear. The emergency session of the United Earth Assembly lasted nearly 18 hours. Military officers replayed the battle frame by frame. Scientists analyzed fragments recovered from the alien weapons. Engineers studied impossible energy signatures. No one liked the conclusion. The Dominion of Khar possessed technology centuries beyond humanity's. Their shields absorbed railgun impacts as though they were raindrops. Their plasma cannons pierced armor designed to survive nuclear strikes. Their engines were faster. Their sensors more accurate. Their computers vastly superior. If they launched a full invasion, Earth would fall. Some delegates argued for surrender before the invasion even began. Others demanded negotiations. A few suggested abandoning the outer colonies and hiding within the solar system. Then Captain Marcus Hale stepped forward. He placed a small metallic object onto the conference table. Everyone stared. It was a broken piece of alien armor, recovered from the Resolute's hull. "Their ships are not invincible," Marcus said quietly. A scientist frowned. "Our weapons never penetrated their shields." Marcus nodded. "No." He pointed to the fragment. "But debris from their own weapons did." The room became silent. The fragment had been sliced away when 2 alien ships accidentally crossed each other's firing lines during the battle. For the first time, humanity possessed alien technology. And humanity had always been exceptionally good at one thing: learning from its enemies. Deep beneath the mountains of Nevada, the Phoenix Research Complex came alive. Physicists worked without sleep. Engineers dismantled every recovered alien fragment atom by atom. Artificial intelligences compared millions of possible engineering solutions every second. Weeks passed. Then months. Every laboratory reached the same conclusion: humanity could not copy Khar technology. Not yet. But they could improve their own. Instead of building stronger steel, they created layered nanocomposite armor. Instead of larger fusion reactors, they designed compact antimatter initiators. Instead of faster computers, they built predictive battle AIs capable of analyzing thousands of tactical possibilities every second. The greatest strength of humanity had never been superior technology. It was adaptation. Across Earth, civilian factories transformed overnight. Automobile plants built armored vehicles. Shipyards that once launched commercial freighters began assembling destroyers. Mining corporations converted their heavy machinery into military construction equipment. Universities emptied as students volunteered for accelerated officer training. Retired veterans returned to service. Scientists enlisted. Teachers enlisted. Doctors enlisted. Entire families signed recruitment papers together. The slogan appeared first on a factory wall in Brazil. Within days it had spread across every human colony. "If they want our future, they'll have to survive us first." The Khar noticed. But they laughed. From the bridge of the colossal flagship Dominion's Wrath, Supreme Commander Zarketh watched reports of human mobilization with amusement. "Estimated resistance?" An intelligence officer answered. 3 standard months. And after that? Human civilization will collapse. The commander gave a slow nod. "Prepare the invasion fleet." Behind him, nearly 5,000 warships assembled around a dying red star. The largest military force the Khar had launched in over 4,000 years. To them, Earth was not a threat. It was merely another world waiting to be conquered. They had no idea that humanity had spent those same months becoming something entirely different. On Mars, beneath the red sands of Utopia Planitia, the first Aegis-class battlecruiser emerged from its underground construction dock. It looked nothing like previous human warships. Angular armor reflected almost no light. Its engines generated a strange blue-white glow. Dozens of electromagnetic rail batteries lined its flanks. Hidden missile bays stretched the entire length of the hull. Most importantly, every system aboard had been designed around one principle: never fight the Khar on their terms. Human ships would be faster, more unpredictable, more expendable. Every captain received identical orders. Win by thinking, not by matching their strength. 6 months after the destruction of New Horizon, long-range sensors detected the impossible. The Khar invasion fleet had entered human space. 5,000 enemy warships, advancing in perfect formation, straight toward the colony of Avalon. On Earth, alarms echoed through every command center. General Amelia Reyes looked at the tactical display. The enemy outnumbered humanity almost 10 to 1. Her staff waited for orders. She smiled. Good. Several officers looked confused. Reyes folded her hands behind her back. They finally came to the battlefield we chose. Far beyond Avalon, hidden among a dense asteroid field, hundreds of silent human ships waited with their engines powered down. Every captain watched the same countdown. Every railgun was loaded. Every missile bay armed. Every crew member held their breath. For the first time in history, humanity was not waiting to survive. Humanity was waiting to strike first. The galaxy had never witnessed a battle like Avalon. For nearly 70,000 years, the Dominion of Khar had fought the same way. They relied on overwhelming firepower, impenetrable shields, and sheer numbers. No enemy had ever survived long enough to force them to adapt. Humanity changed that in a single day. Instead of meeting the Khar fleet head-on, Admiral Amelia Reyes lured the invaders deep into the Avalon asteroid belt. Thousands of seemingly ordinary rocks had been transformed into hidden fortresses. Railguns lay concealed beneath layers of mined stone. Missile silos waited in silent darkness. Hundreds of unmanned drones floated motionless, disguised as drifting debris. When the first Khar battleships entered the field, nothing happened. The alien commanders scanned the area. No warships. No defense stations. Only lifeless rock. Supreme Commander Zarkath smiled. The humans have abandoned their colony. Then the first asteroid exploded. Not from enemy fire. From within. A colossal magnetic rail cannon emerged from the shattered rock and fired a tungsten slug the size of a transport shuttle. Traveling at a fraction of light speed, the projectile struck the lead Khar cruiser before its shields could fully react. The impact tore through 3 layers of armor. The cruiser split apart like glass. For the first time in recorded Khar history, a human weapon had destroyed one of their capital ships. Every asteroid came alive. Hundreds of hidden batteries opened fire simultaneously. Missiles erupted from concealed launch bays. Autonomous drones swarmed between enemy formations, confusing targeting systems. The perfectly ordered Khar fleet dissolved into chaos. Human captains had no intention of fighting fair. Whenever a Khar vessel locked onto one target, 3 more attacked from different directions. Ships that appeared crippled suddenly reignited their engines and rammed enemy destroyers. Entire squadrons vanished into the asteroid field, only to reappear behind the alien lines minutes later. The Dominion had always depended on discipline. Humanity depended on unpredictability. And unpredictability was winning. Captain Marcus Hale stood once again on the bridge of the rebuilt UEV Resolute. The exploration cruiser had become something entirely different. Its peaceful laboratories had been replaced by advanced electronic warfare suites. Its observation decks now housed missile guidance centers. Even its engines had been upgraded with experimental drives developed from salvaged car technology. Marcus watched the tactical display. Enemy flagship moving toward Admiral Reyes. The bridge fell silent. If Zarketh reached the command carrier, the entire human fleet could collapse. Marcus didn't hesitate. Full power. One officer stared. "Captain, that's a suicide course." Marcus smiled faintly. "Only if we miss." The Resolute accelerated straight toward the largest concentration of enemy ships. Across the battlefield, Zarketh watched human vessels dart between his formation like predators. He felt something he had not experienced in centuries. Uncertainty. His tactical officers struggled to keep pace. Human attack vectors changing every 12 seconds. They're sacrificing damaged ships to break our formation. Our predictive models no longer function. The Supreme Commander slammed one claw against the command throne. Impossible. The Khar had conquered thousands of civilizations. Every species behaved according to logic. Every military followed patterns. Every enemy feared casualties. Humans did not. Marcus Hale's cruiser burst through the center of the alien formation. Instead of firing every weapon, he ordered electronic warfare. Massive bursts of electromagnetic interference flooded nearby space. Enemy targeting systems flickered. Communication channels collapsed. Navigation computers began receiving false coordinates. Several Khar destroyers turned toward one another, believing friendly ships to be hostile contacts. Within seconds, confusion spread through the alien fleet. Human bombers seized the opportunity. Wave after wave of strike craft poured through the gaps. Explosions blossomed across the battlefield like burning stars. On Earth, billions watched the battle unfold in real time. Schools emptied. Factories stopped production. Entire cities gathered before enormous public screens. Nobody spoke. Families who had lost loved ones during the first invasion held photographs close to their hearts. When the first Khar battleship exploded, cheers erupted across the planet. When a second followed, hope returned. For the first time since New Horizon, humanity believed victory might actually be possible. But Admiral Reyes knew better. She studied the tactical display carefully. Something was wrong. The Khar were retreating too easily. Their remaining fleets were falling back in perfect order despite heavy losses. Veteran instincts whispered a warning. This isn't a retreat. Her operations officer looked up. What do you mean, Admiral? Reyes narrowed her eyes. They're leading us somewhere. Far beyond the battlefield, hidden inside the dark nebula known only as Sector Zero, millions of dormant sensors awakened. Ancient machines, older than every known civilization in the galaxy, silently observed the conflict. A single signal spread across impossible distances. Observation complete. Species classified, humanity. Threat assessment updated. Then, for the first time in over 1,000,000 years, something answered. Not from any planet. Not from any star. But from the darkness between dimensions. A presence without ships. Without bodies. Without form. It had been watching every war ever fought. And now, it had finally noticed humanity.